यस्य वीर्येण कृतिनो वयं च भुवनानि च रामकृष्णं सदा वन्दे सर्वं स्वतन्त्रमीश्वरं जननीं शारदां देवीं रामकृष्णं जगद्गुरुं पादपद्मे तयो श्रित्वा प्रणमामि मुहुर्मुहुः। नमः श्रीयतिराजाय विवेकानन्दसूरये सच्चित्सुखस्वरूपाय स्वामिने तापहारिणे। Dear devotees and friends, it's very interesting and feeling very auspicious about where we are. As you all just heard, that this is a church. I won't say this was a church, this is a church. Constructed in 1863, where our founder Swami Vivekananda was born. We have our own Holy Trinity, the Father, the Son and Holy Mother. Truth is only one, not in the sense of what I say the truth is the truth, but what we say the truth is the truth. In one of our quarterly magazines which we publish from Singapore, in a small editorial, a thought came, so I wrote there, a simple truth. A simple truth is that truth is one, God is one. All the religions, all the paths within the religions, all are trying to achieve and realize that truth. Our ways are different, our means are different, our postures are different, our dress code is different, our food is different, our architecture of church, temple, mosque is different. Within that, God is not two, is only one. And he, she or it, we don't know. And that God cannot be two, is only one. The order which we all belong to is called Ramakrishna order. That's Ramakrishna in the history, probably the first one, not only practicing the denominations of Hinduism, but also practiced, believed and prayed in the ways of different religions. Those practices according to him, the way he practiced Christianity, maybe traditional Christians may not believe in. The way he practiced Islam may not be the traditional Islamists don't believe in that. We need to understand, it is not the ways and postures we use, the word and the language which you use to pray, but it is your inner calling, addressing that unknown. Oh God, if you are there, I do not know you are he or she. Reveal yourself. We are too small. We are too insignificant in front of you. That's why one of the Upanishads, the part of the Vedas, the Hindu scripture says, to him or to her, God reveals, who accepts him wholeheartedly. So, our sincere prayers for oneself and for all of us that may we understand that simple truth. May we do not have differences which divides us, but let it be unite us. So here, today we are assembled, more or less we have 40-45 minutes, and the subject which is given is spirituality in everyday life. If you are spiritual, you are spiritual. If you are not spiritual, you are not spiritual. Spirituality is not a part-time business. Morning I am spiritual, evening I am not. Morning 6 o'clock I meditate, evening 7 o'clock I meditate, I am spiritual. Rest of the time I am not spiritual. It cannot happen. If you are, you are. If you are not, you are not. I don't need to come all the way to say that spirituality is taking the name of God, and these are practices all of us know. Let me talk something which probably at the end of the lecture all of you should feel that yes, here 2 or 3 or 4 some ideas which I am taking with me, probably they are new to you. Maybe the way I would present could be new to you. So before I start, as I told, we are in a church, so let me tell a small story originated from a church. While coming, we saw it is closer to the harbor, I do not know, correct? There was a church closer to the harbor. And in the olden times, if the port is very busy, the people who stay at the port used to be the sailors. And the sailors are little, they lead the fast life in a way. They are not very strong in their personal life and beliefs. So compromising with their own moral and cultural values was rampant. A priest or a father was appointed to look after that community from spiritual point of view. One after another, father or a priest comes and are not able to attract the people. People seldom come once or twice, then don't come. Finally, a young priest, young father, was appointed. And within a short time, people started flocking. Church became full during the services. Then the question was asked, what do you do that earlier father oblique priest could not do? And the young father replied, generally, people are very strict for others and very liberal for themselves. I just practice otherwise. I am very strict for myself and I am very liberal for others. This is the root of spirituality. If a flower blooms, it doesn't need to advertise that, oh, the bees, please come and have my fragrance and honey. No flower ever advertises. Spirituality is that blooming flower. Any one of us could be. And the like-minded people, the like-minded ideas, the like-minded atmosphere could be created. So spirituality in general is about spirit. And the spirit doesn't mean a soul or Atman or something for time being. Spirituality starts with mind. What is spirit? To reach to the highest definition of spirit, start with the initial definition of spirit. This is the gross body, this is the physical body. There is a finer part of me which is mind. Of course, then you can travel and can say about the intellect and emotions and soul and consciousness, but it starts with the mind. So let us consider spirituality from the standpoint of mind. There are many ideas. Just before coming in 10 minutes, I jotted down some ideas which could be useful to all of you. Spirituality is the training of mind. You train your mind such that you would be able to perceive, you will be able to attract, you will be able to download something great, something higher, something beautiful, something pure. So it is the preparation of the mind. The practical daily spirituality is preparing yourself. What you do is your way of doing. You pray, you repeat the name of God, you do some rituals, you do some pilgrimage, you do some charity, whatever you want to do, that's your way. All the ways are correct, so far as it makes you a better person. All of us take food, breakfast, lunch, dinner, whatever. Also in between also we keep on munching. What food you give to your mind? Unless you read something, unless you hear something, and give your mind some food to be a better mind, to be a sustaining mind. We take food to sustain. If you don't take food in 3 days' time, you will not be able to even walk. How do you think that mind will be able to work which is not fed for months? The present day biggest issue, biggest problem, biggest disease is strong, healthy, beautiful bodies with a weak, corrupted, immoral mind. You may have a beautiful body and you have an ugly mind. It doesn't mean anything. Spirituality is to take care of that mind. Give food to your mind. You don't need to spend hours. Spend 5 to 10 minutes if you can. Read a thought, 2, 3, 4 lines. I request the organizers, in a common place like this, just keep some small booklets. Any page you open has a small spiritual message. Keep it for people to just pick up. We do it in Singapore. On a table below the temple, we have 35, 40 books in 6, 7, 8 languages. People just come and pick up whichever they want. That changes the life of people. So idea is, you enrich your mind every day with some good thought. After some time, that good thought will tell you to practice that thought. We'll come to it later. Daily spirituality, there are 2 things other than your reading, etc. One is self-introspection and the second is self-assessment. Because of me, if you are hurt, I must introspect and find out what did I do that because of me somebody is hurt. To study oneself is self-introspection. Correcting oneself, assessing oneself, where I am, what am I doing. I don't have competition with you. I don't even know you. How can I have competition? I have competition with myself. I must be a better person today than what I was yesterday. I must be a better person tomorrow than what I am today. That is spirituality. Sri Ramakrishna used to say, sometimes go to seclusion, be alone. Could be a corner of your house, could be a beautiful place like this. Sit down and introspect. Where am I? What are my faults? Holy Mother Sarada Devi used to say, if you want peace of mind and peace of the gathering and family congregation, don't find fault with each other. How not to find fault? My eyes are open and he does some mistake or she does some mistake. That comes to my eyes. How not to see the fault of others? Not to find fault is not to mention the fault. If I know that he or she has that much respect for me that he or she will not misunderstand me, then I can say, hey, just don't do it. Doesn't look nice. I don't say like this. Otherwise, don't mention. You have not come to this world to correct this world, correct? You have come to this world to correct yourself. Not to find fault is not to mention the fault. Sri Ramakrishna says, go to seclusion, be alone for a while. Seclusion and loneliness are two different things. You are craving a crowd and you cannot get, that is a loneliness, I am alone, I am alone. When you purposefully go alone, earlier monks used to go to the top of the hill or in a cave, or today you don't need to. Just go to the corner of your room, a small room, your study, your shrine, and just introspect yourself. Meditation no need to be always on God. Meditation should be on yourself, looking at myself, what am I doing? And during the day, continuously keep a track, as Sri Ramakrishna used to say again, as an elephant, when he moves, the mahout or the controller who sits on elephant keeps a small pierce. In the same way, keep a stick in your hand as if, as soon as your mind wants to go here and there, correct him. Hey, no, come this side. Constant vigilance is at the root of your spiritual life. One virtue is called to discriminate, not in a negative sense. Discrimination means, let me understand what I am getting, what I am reading, what I am seeing, what I am hearing, what I am coming in contact with. I must discriminate. Now at the end of the lecture and all that, you will have some prasad, some food. You will discriminate. You won't take everything. Oh, I don't take sugar, I don't take carbo. Why do you do that? You discriminate what is pleasurable and what is beneficial. All that just now I counted, these are all pleasurable. The most pleasurable food is carbo and sugar, correct? One doctor was asked how to find the healthy food. The doctor was a little dry. He said, spit out everything that is tasty. And that is all carbo and sugar. Idea is this. You discriminate in these fields. Why don't you discriminate when you watch TV? Why don't you discriminate when you watch videos? Why don't you discriminate when you take the books? Discriminating. Always what is beneficial to me. Not that we will be successful at the first attempt. We will fail. Doesn't matter. One who is vigilant, if he or she fails for 100 times, believe me, those who are not vigilant will fail 1,000 times. Don't be afraid of failing. Those only fail who attempt. They don't fail who sit at the corner and don't attempt. Failure is the first success because you attempted. Spirituality is this. Spirituality is dynamic. Spirituality is not static. Spirituality is not mechanical. Spirituality is like that small hard disk. When you put your hand, nowadays of course you have another kind of liquid crystal display. Earlier it was not there. Earlier in the hard disk you put your hand, inside something is moving. Apparently static, inside moving. Meditation is that. Apparently static, inside moving. Meditation is dynamic. Meditation is not static. Now, since we have a limit of time, that's why I'm just going a little faster. Another virtue is called detachment. In our parallel talk, I was talking to the devotees. Detachment. What is detachment? Not to be attached and not to hate. Be in between, with full love and concern for your loved ones. Good feeling, neighborly, community feeling, all remain intact, but detached. Why detached? Because the goal of my life, this is something little finer, but not that difficult to understand. Always, the purpose is higher than what you are doing. Let me explain. You came here. Is your purpose is only to come here? No, purpose is higher. Oh, I want to hear something. Again, hearing is not the purpose. After hearing, I want to get something new. I want to practice something. I want to be a better person. Is the better person is the goal? No, purpose is higher than that. By becoming a better person, I want to achieve something higher. Always remember, purpose is always higher than what you are doing. Goal is always higher than what you are doing. So detachment comes from knowledge. What knowledge? There is a subject which is a taboo. People don't talk about it. But we are in a place where for the last 160 years, people have talked about something which is beneficial. And that is death. Taboo. We don't talk about death because you are afraid of death. Swami Vivekananda, our founder, says, one who will remember death will understand my teachings better. Why? What is your problems? Your problems are the things, people, concepts, places with whom you are attached. Is this people, places, concepts, thoughts will go with you when you die? No. All will remain here. Then why do you get attached to it? Knowledge keeps you detached. Knowledge doesn't stop you from your love and concern. I was telling yesterday. You love your spouse, you love your children very much. If they fall sick, will you take medicine on their behalf? You can't take. That is detachment. Even if I love you, I can't take medicine for you. You have to take your medicine. You have to take guidance, you have to take counseling, you have to take sermons, you have to take commandments, you have to take teachings. If you follow, you will benefit. If you don't follow, you don't benefit. I have love for you, but I can't help you. That is detachment. I have love and concern with you. I will put everything on front of you. Please read. Please learn. Please be a better person. If you don't, it is your life. That is detachment. But I will not leave any stone unturned to help you. That is love and concern with detachment. Detachment is a great virtue. Very interesting concepts you can think of. What you read in the books, you read one book, same book I read, same book other person read. One took as a piece of information. One took as teachings. Another person took it as wisdom. Same book, different effects. We use the word knowledge. All of us understand the difference between information and knowledge. Information comes, you can forget the information, you can alter the information, you can upgrade the information. But knowledge, I don't think you have heard definition of knowledge like this. That information, that skill, that trade, that technique, when you learn, when you say, I know it, that technique, that knowledge becomes you, becomes part of you, inseparable part of you. For example, I do not know driving. So I went to the driving school. It took 2 months, 3 months, 4 months for me to learn driving. Now I know driving. I have a license to drive. Is there any way to delete that knowledge of driving from your brain? Unless you become senile or Alzheimer or whatever. That driving became part of me, never to go away from me. I may lose physical strength to drive, that could be. But my skill of driving can never be taken out of me. It becomes part of me. Many of you ride a bicycle. How many times we fall? But once you get the balance, can you forget that balancing in your life? No. Knowledge becomes part of you. Knowledge becomes you. Information doesn't become you. But you gather so much knowledge, different kinds of knowledge, different kinds of information. Churning that information and knowledge, you churn out a wisdom which nobody has that wisdom. That wisdom which you churned out becomes information or knowledge for someone. Let me give a simple example. Many of you are doctorate in your field, secular field also. When do you get your doctorate? Do you pass an exam? You passed many exams. You did your graduation, you did your masters, then you do research and bring out something which the world doesn't know. That is the true doctorate. Not compilation of information and put my name. No, that is not doctorate, even if you get doctorate. Doctorate is something which is all the information and knowledge which you studied till now. Next 2-3 years you do churning and take out wisdom, put on paper. Then your supervisor or one who is your guide will say, oh, this is something new. Even I didn't know that. Okay, you get a doctorate. Information, knowledge and wisdom. So, the ideas are, every day what should I do? What should I do? You read books, you take the name of God, you go to church, temple, mosque, you do compassionate, you do the charity, lecture over. What more you want to do? You need to work with your mind. Developing good habits. Somebody very nicely wrote, to establish God, you need a church, you need a temple, you need a priest, you need a book, you need rituals. For years and years and years you do to establish a good habit of a kind of spiritual practice. To establish a bad habit, you need little, and nobody is seeing, enough to develop a bad habit. Who makes this? Who made this cosmic law that water can easily flow from second floor to the first floor, but it is so much difficult to send water from the first floor to second floor? Who made this rule? Law of gravitation you interpret, that is an interpretation or an explanation. Who made this? When you don't know, you say God made it. No problem. The same God made this. As the water has a tendency to flow downward, in the same way your mind has a tendency to flow downward. Sorry to bring the topic. Which films are hit? Put all the sex and violence into it, film is hit. Put a wisdom and knowledge, people sleep in 10 minutes. They can't sustain for 3 hours. Because you have to climb, you have to ascend, you have to go up, uphill task. That which is part of my instinct. I don't need to do anything, just look like this, somebody dancing, somebody is doing something and I am watching. Nothing to do. Mind has a tendency to flow downward. That's why it is difficult to raise your mind up. That's why all the great people did what in Hinduism we call tapasya, in many religions you call it austerities and penance and whatnot. And everybody did it. Then only they became great. They tried to ascend, they tried to go up. And that is difficult. To go down is not difficult. When I was a small child, my father had a very good habit. He will say, okay, stand here, repeat with me and memorize what I say. I said, okay. We were obedient child, not like today. We were very obedient. So my father says, repeat behind me. The strength of your character depends upon your capacity to say no. Repeat with me, my father told. We repeated. The strength of my character depends upon my capacity to say no. No, I didn't want to smoke. My friends pressed me so much, I couldn't say no. Oh, they were all drinking, I don't drink. They made me in such a situation. I succumbed, I could not say no. Who told you? Shun that company which makes me down. That strength will come from whom? That will come from spirituality. Spirituality in a way has nothing to do with religion. Now there is a movement. I don't know whether that movement is popular here. Spiritual but not religious. There is a movement. We don't believe in any religion. Religion is a problem. People fight. We want to be free from religion, but we want to be spiritual. All this what I am telling. You don't need to be religious. There are many youngsters who don't want to subscribe themselves to any religion. But I will say you study and don't subscribe. Don't take people's word for and then ignore the big treasure which is there in your scriptures. So, always try to be in a company of the people who are better than you. Don't try to be the people and show yourself, you know, I am so good and you people are like this. No, be in the company of people who are better than you. Then your chances of becoming better is better. I give you a small exercise. For example, same example I'm giving again, so for easy for you to correlate. You decided today morning, I want to go to this church, this center, Vedanta Center. Okay? Same question you ask 3 times. And third time you won't be able to give answer. What is that same question? What is purpose of my going to Vedanta Center today? Okay, I want to hear a lecture. What is the purpose? I want to be a better person. I want to learn something. Why you want to learn something? What is the purpose? Ask this time 3 times and you will reach to the spirituality. Anything. I want to eat food. I'm hungry, I want to eat food. What is the purpose of eating food? I want to live. I don't want to die. I want to sustain, survive. What is the purpose of your survival? No answer. Same question 3 times or 4 times you answer. What is the purpose of I am doing? What is the purpose of my purpose of my purpose of my purpose? And you will become a philosopher. It has to end in spirituality. One thing which is common in all the religions, one thing which is common in teachings of all the prophets, all the incarnations, is be pure, purity. Physical purity, psychological, mental purity, intellectual purity, purity of your purposes, purity of your intentions, purity of your speaking, purity of your dealing, purity of your religions, purity of your culture. Purity doesn't mean no fusion. No, not from that point of view. That purity which makes you feel closer to God as if. Because we don't know God, so we don't understand that. All of us take bath. Why? Because body has to be pure, body has to be clean. What is that mental bath when your mind will be pure? I am very spontaneous in telling. I don't put many censors when I speak. I ask very simple questions. When did you look at the sky last? When did you see the sky last? Not while driving, no. Looking at the sky, stars, clouds. No time. It's not anybody's fault. You are fortunate to have a clean atmosphere. Just come out of your house, wherever you are. See that there is no traffic here. Look at the sky. If the sky is clean, put a chair in the courtyard and just look at for 5 minutes, even 2 minutes. You will see yourself so tiny. You will find, what is the purpose of my being here in this universe? Who am I? From where did I come? Within the 2 minutes, if you are sincere, you become spiritual. Why? Nothing to do with God, nothing to do with religion, nothing to do with scriptures, just your sheer experience with this infinity makes you spiritual. Spiritual life starts with purity, spiritual life ends with absolute purity. We are in a church, you complete the sentence, not me. Blessed are pure at heart because they shall see God. Jesus told. Sri Krishna told in Bhagavad Gita, Nahi jnanena sadrisham pavitrameha vidyate. There is nothing pure than knowledge. Your spiritual life starts with purity. Just develop purity, you will see God one day. The difference between one person and another person is in his or her purity. To develop that purity, I don't want to open up any bad subject here, but the greatest sin, greatest mistake which the people at this juncture are, that purity is missing. The eyes are spoiled. The same basic instincts only are in the brain of people. I give you one incident, one old incident, one new incident, just from a purity point of view. Don't interpret in a gross definition of purity. Most of you know the story of Ramayana. Ramayana is a story, epic history, that a king, a prince, his brother, and the prince's wife, three are in exile in forest. A demon king comes and kidnaps the wife of the prince. Both the prince goes in search of the prince's wife and the sister-in-law of the youngest brother. They find some ornaments lying in the forest. So the prince could recognize the ornament of his wife, Mother Sita, and showed that ornament to the younger brother Lakshmana. You see, this is the kirita of your sister-in-law. Lakshmana says, could be. Went little ahead, got a necklace. Hey, this is the necklace of your sister-in-law. The younger brother says, could be. These are the bangles of your sister-in-law. Could be. Then the prince is little amazed. Why do you say could be? Don't you recognize the ornaments of your sister-in-law? Lakshmana, the younger brother, says, no. I only know one ornament of my sister-in-law, and that is anklet. I have seen only her feet. Nityam Padabhivandana, because every day I used to fall at her feet. That's why I know only the anklet. Nupuram Jaiva Janami. That is morality. None of us are immoral, are we? No. Because our morality's definition is very poor. Do you ask permission before looking at any woman? Before you ask permission before looking at any man? No. You take it for granted? No. But we don't practice that. That's why we don't have idea. Modern example. Holy Mother Sri Sarada Devi was staying in Calcutta. Swami Saradananda ji, disciple of Sri Ramakrishna, made a 3-story house for mother to stay. That is now our publication house. At that time, the ladies of Calcutta, those who belong to cultured families, they never showed their face to other than their close people like parents or husband or children. Life was very different. Holy Mother every day morning goes to the roof of the 3rd floor to dry her hair. There was no hair dryer at that time. So she will go there and sit under the rising sun to dry the hairs. About half a kilometer aerial distance, still both the houses are there. There is another house where a gentleman called Girish Chandra Ghosh stayed there. It so happened, mother went to the 3rd floor in her house. Girish went to the 3rd floor or the 2nd floor of his house with his son. The son looked at and says, Father, see, mother is standing there on the roof. Girish Chandra Ghosh gave the same answer what Lakshmana had given to Rama. Could be. The son says, why could be? I can see mother. Look, you also look. Now here, Girish Chandra Ghosh says, son, you can look at mother. I cannot. Why, father? I can see mother from here. Why can't you see? I will not look at mother because she doesn't know that I am looking at her. That is morality. We are very far from that. That's even if all the vices are there in us, still we call ourselves very moral. No. Purity has levels. We are all pure. None of us are bad people. But there is a level of purity. And that takes a lot of alertness to practice that purity. It's not easy. I don't give concession to myself also for that. It's difficult. But that is how you practice spirituality. Secondly, whatever you do in spiritual practice, do it with utmost alertness. You are sitting to do japa, means you are sitting to repeat the name of God which your guru would have given. You sit for japa because you want to do japa. Nobody has forced you. So do with complete alertness. Absolute clear mind. Not in any kind of slumber or drowsy or sleepy or something. No, perfect alertness. Do with full heart. Not only this, any work we do, if you do with your best attention, that is spirituality. Don't read the books, study the books. Don't see everything, watch everything. This is with alertness. Seeing with alertness is watching. Reading with alertness is studying. That alertness differs. A professor teaches in the class. Same professor, same teaching, 20 students. End of the year, one passes with flying colors, one fails. What is the difference between the students? Alertness. No attention. Playing with the pen, looking outside, and looking at other students of interest. Focus. Alertness, attention. Difference between two people is this. Different, the material within, all of us is different. Purity level is different. Alertness level is different. Mindful level is different. Increase that is spirituality. Whatever you do, there is a story, Sri Ramakrishna says, the Lord says to his greatest devotee called Narada, go and find a great devotee. So there are so many devotees, some busy in rituals, see somebody standing on one leg and meditating, all kind of things people are doing. The Lord says, there is one village, in that there is one farmer, he is my great devotee. So Narada went to see what spiritual practice that farmer is doing. Then he went, farmer is only working. Working in the farm, came, took bath, cooked food, ate, did like this and slept. How he can be the greatest devotee of God? The difference is when he does farming, where his mind is. When he does other work, where his mind is. And with whole heart, he does one namaskaram to God and sleeps. There was a devotee called Surendranath Mitra, if I am not mistaken. Sri Ramakrishna says, hey, you must do spiritual practice. So he says, I am always busy in my work. night, when I go to bed, I just say a few times Ma, 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 and I sleep. Sri Ramakrishna's answer, that is enough. That's enough. That doesn't mean you leave all spiritual practices, Ma, 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 3 times and sleep. No, it is not question of that. Question is, if you are meditating 1 hour a day, mark my words, if you are meditating 1 hour a day, the quality of that 1 hour meditation depends on how you pass 23 hours. Rest of the 23 hours. 23 hours I go to this direction, 1 hour I go to this direction. I can't progress. My day-to-day life is in such a way, the work which I do in such a way that my mind more or less remains on one level. Then when I sit for meditation, it is easy for me to meditate because my mind was not scattered anyway. Yes, because of work, I have to deal with things. But in my mind, back of the mind, we keep on thinking thousands of things of our desire. Spirituality is to reduce those things. Our mind always keeps on talking. Just observe your mind, you will find it is talking. Replace that talk with your mantra. Replace that talk with the name of God. That is spirituality. As I told, spirituality is dynamic, not static. Spirituality is an active participation. I sometimes make it to be more appealing, little audiovisual. When you sit for meditation, I was talking, I think yesterday, when you are meditating, go to that seat of meditation with your complete. Now I am sitting for meditation. I want to meditate. Don't go like a dead body, just go, sit, pray, come back. No. Spiritual life is dynamic. You tell yourself, this is the best thing a human being can do, and that to sit in meditation. That you do, encourage yourself. Tell yourself, not everybody is fortunate to do this. You are fortunate to meditate. People are wasting their time in their life, does thousands of things. But I am in contact with some good souls. So I have decided, no, I won't waste my time. I rather do this. And you collect your mind as if during the daytime, when you sit for meditation, you meditate with that collected mind, not the scattered mind. What you do for that throughout the day is spirituality. 23 hours a day, I prepare myself for that 1 hour meditation. Not that I am perfect in that and I am giving upadesham to you, no. I want to practice the same. We are in the same boat. We are not higher or lower, we are same. If a mind goes here, come this, no, not that side, come here. What you do with your child is the same which you do with your mind. Okay, fine. We think about the movie later. Now it is a study time. Sit down. You tell your child, same thing you do with your mind. When you sit for meditation, you want to think about the shop and market and this and that. Okay. We think about it later. Now we do this work, okay? You sit. Now repeat the mantra. Cajoling the mind. And the last, an attitude is expanding yourself. Almost 1 hour going to be. Expanding yourself. Let me explain. Expand doesn't mean I have to be 100 kilo. No, not that expansion. What is expansion? You do it in seconds. How you do it? Those who drive, there is a door. You can easily pass through. If the same space is there and if you are driving, you can't pass through because you have identified yourself with the car When you drive your car, you are so big. Can I pass through this? Thinking that you drive. That is called expansion. Another variety of expansion. Something happened to the sun and the tears comes out of your eyes. That is expansion. You expanded yourself in your children. That's why there is a word for the children is called santana or santati. What is santana? Santana, words from tantu, the thread. You have projected, you have extended your thread in your son, in your daughter, in your husband, in your wife. Expansion takes place. Anything happens to the people whom think their own, you are your own, happens to them, tears comes out of your eyes. That is your expansion. But blessed are those people. Very nicely said. Who is a saint? He is a saint whose heart is as soft as butter and whose heart melts. If butter has to melt, you have to give heat to the butter. The saint's heart is softer than butter. The heat goes somewhere else, his heart melts. Devotee is he or she who feels, be sensitive. Not that always we are that. All of us at some point of time are like that. I remember that September 11 incident happened. I remember one gentleman came to my office and cried. I said, what happened? Any of a relative in World Trade Center? No, Swamiji. Why human being does this? Why can't we live happily? Why we do this? And he cried. Many of us felt bad. We might not have cried. It happens. You got a message. Oh, it's so and so met with an accident. My goodness, you felt so bad. Before they tell you, pray for them. No, God save him or her. Spirituality is expansion. Life is expansion. Spirituality is expansion. Feeling for others is spirituality. When you feel like taking the name of God, you are becoming spiritual. When you are feeling of serving the devotees of God, you are becoming spiritual. When you serve a miserable person with whole heart, without any expectation of reward, you are going close to God. Because God is not somewhere. God is within your heart. Again, we are in the church. The kingdom of heaven is where? Within yourself. The Lord stays where? Within my heart. I don't need to go somewhere to see God because God is in my heart. Spirituality is the same. The way we tell is different. You don't expect Jesus to speak Sanskrit or Krishna to speak Hebrew. But if they are realized, they speak the same. On a little, small, serious, funny note, we are part of interreligious community in Singapore. Singapore is considered as one of the most diverse, religiously diverse country. Though everywhere people of all the religions stay, Singapore is unique. Not because I stayed in Singapore for 25 years, I am telling. Probably, I don't know about other countries, probably Singapore is the only country where harmony of religions is by law. You practice your religion, if they hear you even sending a message criticizing other religion, you can be arrested by law. You like me, don't like me, keep quiet. Then we do activities. Ramakrishna Mission is one of the founding members of inter-religious organization called IRO. We went to China in 2019. Can you believe people of 10 religions? Hindu, Zoroastrian, Jew, Buddhist, Jain, Taoist, Christian, Muslim, Sikh, Baha'i. And with 10 people hold hand and walk, and people look in the street, how it is possible? And then we are from Singapore. A small country is an immediate ideal of everyone. Here I am not for that to say about it, but I am happy to share this. So, on a serious note, funny note, think in a coffee shop, on one table, 4 people are sitting and taking coffee. Who are these 4 people? Krishna, Christ, Buddha, and the Prophet. Do you think they will fight? No. Because they are realized people. They don't fight. We have to take that stand. Spirituality is within. When it is manifested outside, is called harmony. Harmony of every level, not only religious harmony. Harmony of races, harmony of genders, harmony of religions, whichever way you want to put. Even we have harmony with the universe. We have harmony with the trees, plants, animals. You develop spirituality and you will expand. You be spiritual and you will be in harmony with everyone. Thank you very much. A few points which I could gather and tell. These are all the things are scattered everywhere in good literatures. I try to put on one place and then we discussed. So thank you again for calling me. This is practically a place of pilgrimage. A church which is 160 years old. I remember similarly in Australia, our center purchased a church because the father came and said, hey, Swami, there is hardly anybody to come. So we purchased it. The day we opened it, the same father who was running that church came and he gave a lecture and told, I am so happy that this still remains a house of God. It doesn't matter which religion, but people come here to pray. People come here to think good. People come here to throw good vibration out of these doors and windows. So thank you very much for inviting me. It is such lovely and happy occasion to be here. Thanks for hearing for last 1 hour. Thank you.